Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we're diving into President-elect Trump's vision for his second term. We've got this interview transcript, and he really lets loose about his plans.
Oh yeah, it's a fascinating look into his thinking. Unguarded, raw, you really get a sense of his energy and his priorities going into this second term.
Okay, well, let's jump right in. Right out of the gate, he's talking about border security, extending his tax cuts, and crime. He specifically calls out those Democrat-led cities. Millions coming across the border, he says, criminals flooding in, even mental institutions from other countries sending people here. Sounds a bit familiar, no?
It does echo themes from his first term, that America First agenda. But it's the urgency, the focus on immediate action that's really striking. The first 100 days, he keeps saying. And that language, not playing games, very strong, very powerful. It's all about projecting strength control.
He also brings up the Trump tax cuts, says people will be furious if they expire. He takes credit for one of the greatest economies ever, he says. But then there's all this talk about tariffs on Canada, Mexico, our biggest trading partners. Didn't companies like Walmart and Black & Decker say those tariffs just mean higher prices for consumers?
Well, there's the heart of the tariff debate, right? President-elect Trump actually calls tariffs a beautiful word. Protecting American jobs, prosperity, that's his argument. He even claims he stopped wars with tariffs.
Really?
Yeah. He brings up Whirlpool, the washing machine company, says they were being undercut by South Korea, China. So bam, 50% tariff. And Whirlpool's business, he claims, went through the roof.
Okay, but didn't prices for things like washing machines go up during his first term? Isn't that proof that consumers are the ones who really pay?
That's the counter-argument, of course.
Right.
Critics say those costs get passed down the line. And yeah, even companies like Walmart have acknowledged this. It'll be very interesting to see how this all plays out in his second term.
Buckle up, because this is where it gets really interesting. Mass deportation, that's what he's talking about. Prioritizing people with criminal records, even suggesting deporting families with mixed immigration status so they won't be separated. And he wants to end birthright citizenship. Claims no other country has it. He's painting this picture of a system overwhelmed by criminals who then get lawyers, costing the country billions. He compares it to other countries that just turn people away at the border.
This is classic Trump, strong language, painting a picture of crisis, demanding radical solutions. But, practically speaking, to end birthright citizenship, you need a constitutional amendment. That's a huge lift.
So no quick executive order on that one. On healthcare, it seems he's accepted that repealing and replacing Obamacare is off the table. Still blames John McCain and other Republicans for voting against it, says it would have been great health, claims he could have let it rot but chose to make it work.
It's a bit of a head-scratcher. He's criticizing Obamacare as lousy healthcare while taking credit for saving it.
Right. But then he says he has concepts for a new plan. Lower prices, still covering pre-existing conditions, but no specifics. Just says the middleman makes more money than drug companies and that we're going to reduce prices somehow.
More a statement of intent than a concrete plan at this point. Without those details, it's hard to analyze how feasible this vision is.
Now, let's talk cabinet picks. Kash Patel for FBI director. This is a man who listed 60 people he considers deep state in his book, including Biden and Clinton.
That appointment raised some eyebrows, for sure. It suggests that, despite claiming Patel will be fair, Trump might be looking to use the FBI to target his political opponents.
And for Director of National Intelligence, he's chosen Tulsi Gabbard, the same Tulsi Gabbard who had secret meetings with Syrian dictator Bashar al-Assad back in 2017. His defense. World leaders meet with controversial figures all the time, he says, even citing his own meetings with Putin and Kim Jong-un. And then there's RFK Jr. to lead the effort on drug prices and study vaccines. Something is wrong, he says, about the rise of autism.
Gabbard's appointment, if confirmed, could signal a real shift in U.S. foreign policy. Her past meetings with Assad definitely raised questions about her stance on Syria and other authoritarian regimes. And RFK Jr., well, that'll be interesting to watch.
He talks about his relationship with Elon Musk, too, suggesting Musk might get preferential treatment. And while he says he wants to cut the federal government, he promises not to touch Medicare or Social Security.
Makes you wonder about conflicts of interest, right? Is he really committed to fiscal responsibility across the board? Or is it more about rewarding allies? Those comments about Musk suggest it might be more about personal relationships than fairness.
And then there's Ukraine. Less U.S. aid, he says. Europe should be paying more. Claims he could end the war in 24 hours, but won't say how. Won't commit to the U.S. staying in NATO if members don't pay their bills. Even suggests Biden shouldn't be able to stop the war from happening in the first place.
This suggests a shift toward isolationism, a more transactional approach to those international alliances. Those claims about ending the war so quickly, well, they're unsubstantiated, likely unrealistic.
On the Middle East, he expresses doubt about those American hostages in Iran, even suggests the number might be far fewer than people think, and on Taiwan, he won't say if he'd defend them if China invaded.
That's a less interventionist approach for sure, putting U.S. interests first, even if it means stepping back from our traditional role as a global leader. And those comments about the hostages, very alarming to some, signaling a lack of concern for their well-being.
Now, this is a big one. He plans to pardon those who attacked the Capitol on January 6th, maybe excluding any radical crazies or Antifa members, he says. Claims these people have suffered, their lives have been destroyed. He also alleges the January 6th committee deleted all the evidence because it actually supported him.
This is probably the most controversial part of the interview. Pardoning those involved in the January 6th attack. Many would see that as an affront to democracy, a dangerous precedent. And those claims about the committee destroying evidence? Completely unsubstantiated.
And of course, he refuses to concede the 2020 election. Why would I do that, he asks. Blames Biden for weaponizing the Justice Department, dividing the country. Says the 2024 election was too big to rig, which is why he won this time.
This continued denial of the 2020 results is worrisome. It suggests he might not be willing to accept democratic outcomes if they don't go his way. And this rigged election rhetoric, it further undermines trust in the electoral process.
But then, he says he'll treat those who didn't vote for him just as well as his biggest supporters. Wants to bring back civilization to America, make it safe again. Says success will bring the country together.
It's a more conciliatory tone than we've seen in the past, but whether his actions match his words, that remains to be seen.
Stepping back, what are your main takeaways from this interview? What stands out? What does it tell us about where President-elect Trump might be headed in this second term?
A few things jump out. That intense focus on what he perceives as threats, crime, immigration, foreign adversaries. It's like he's saying America is under siege, which justifies his call for extreme measures. Mass deportation, those sweeping tariffs.
It's like he's saying only I can fix this, right?
Exactly. He's the strong man, the decisive leader. And he keeps coming back to those first 100 days, that image of immediate action, no hesitation.
So it seems he's learned from his first term. Not going to wait for Congress, not going to play nice. Executive power, that's his tool, even if it means pushing the limits of the Constitution, like with birthright citizenship.
Some might say it's not so much learning as it is doubling down on what worked before, even if it was controversial. And yeah, he's definitely comfortable using executive power to force things through.
His comments about the Justice Department, the FBI, though, pretty alarming, no. This weaponized language suggesting his appointees should go after his political rivals.
Absolutely. It feeds into that deep state narrative, portraying himself as the victim, justifying retaliation. It's a dangerous cycle, eroding trust in these institutions.
And his cabinet picks, Kash Patel, Tulsi Gabbard, they share his worldview, that distrust of the establishment. You have to wonder, is it loyalty over experience?
A valid concern. Is he surrounding himself with yes men? And remember his comments about Elon Musk, preferential treatment. It all suggests personal relationships might be influencing his decisions. Ethically, that's problematic.
Ukraine. He's ready to slash aid, pressure them into a deal with Russia, even if it means giving up land.
It's isolationist, putting America's interests first, even if it hurts our allies. And it fits into that master negotiator image he's cultivated. Only I can get the best deals for America, that kind of thing.
And pulling out of NATO if they don't pay up. Huge.
Right. Unpredictable. A disruptor. Creates uncertainty for our allies. Emboldens our adversaries. Remember, though, he claims he got billions more from NATO members during his first term. Not entirely accurate. Defense spending did increase, but it was part of a trend that started years earlier.
Spend, then. Not that surprising. But his comments about Taiwan, the hostages in Iran, cold, weren't they?
Yeah, there was a lack of empathy. Power, leverage, that's what he focuses on. Realpolitik, self-interest above all else.
Back to domestic policy. Still pushing those tax cuts, promising to bring prices down, but no specifics. Familiar talking points, not much substance.
Leaning on that nostalgia for the pre-COVID economy. But those tax cuts mostly benefited corporations, the wealthy, and there's no guarantee they work the same way now.
And those tariffs, he's convinced, even though experts warn they could raise prices for everyone.
A gamble. Short-term pain for long-term gain, that's the bet. but no guarantees it'll work out that way.
And bringing back civilization to America, what does that even mean? Does he really want to unify the country?
That's where the contradictions are glaring. He wants unity, but on his terms. Everyone accepting his version of reality. But at the same time, he won't acknowledge the 2020 election, promotes conspiracy theories, promises to pardon those who attack the Capitol.
Unity by force, almost.
Yeah, you could say that. And that's a recipe for more division, not healing. This whole interview is full of these contradictions, raises more questions than it answers. A glimpse into a second term that could be just as chaotic and unpredictable as the first, but with even higher stakes. Yeah, it's a question we should all be asking ourselves. This interview, it really lays it all out there, the potential consequences.
You know, going through all this, it strikes me that there's this theme of control. Border control, controlling the economy, even controlling the narrative. President-elect Trump, he seems all about asserting dominance.
It's a good point. You see it in his language, his style, the policies he's pushing, strength, even aggression. That's his answer to every challenge.
And it's always us versus them. The deep state, immigrants, foreign enemies. America's under siege. That's the picture he's painting.
Exactly. And that justifies extreme measures, ignoring the rules, the institutions. We're in a war, he's saying, and you do what it takes to win.
But what if that backfires? What if it just divides us more, erodes trust, weakens us on the world stage?
That's the risk, right? Fear and aggression, those aren't the best tools for building bridges, finding common ground.
His economic plans, too. Tax cuts, bringing down prices, it's all pretty vague. A lot like his first term, actually.
He's playing on that nostalgia for the good old days, the pre-COVID economy. But the world's moved on, things have changed. Just repeating old policies, it might not work the same way this time.
And those tariffs. He's so sure they're the answer, even though people are saying they could backfire, make prices go up for everyone.
It's a risky bet. Short-term pain, maybe, but long-term gain, that's what he's counting on. More American manufacturing, more jobs. But there's no guarantee.
What if those jobs don't show up? What if it all backfires?
Then we're left with a weaker economy, prices through the roof, and people blaming each other. Risky, for sure.
Okay, foreign policy. Ukraine, he's basically ready to ditch them, force them to make a deal with Russia, even if it means giving up land.
It shows you how he thinks about these things. Very transactional. Short-term wins, not so much about the big picture, the long game.
And pulling out of NATO?
Yeah.
Reckless, wouldn't you say?
It could be. It would definitely shake things up. He's not afraid to walk away from agreements, organizations. America first, that's the motto.
Yeah.
But yeah, pulling out of NATO, it could make things very unstable.
And his comments about the hostages in Iran? So cold, so dismissive.
It's about power, leverage, not about empathy. That works sometimes in negotiations, but it also alienates people, makes America look bad.
But that whole thing about pardoning the January 6th rioters, that's got to be the most alarming part of this whole interview. Attacking the very idea of a rule of law.
It sends a message, a dangerous one. Loyalty to him above all else, even democracy, even the peaceful transfer of power. And remember, he didn't rule out pardoning himself.
Scary thought. A president above the law, only answering to his supporters.
It shows you how fragile things are. Our institutions, they depend on norms, on people believing in the system. And when that's gone, when power is concentrated in one person who doesn't care about the rules, well, that's how you get tyranny.
So can American democracy survive another 4 years of Donald Trump?
That's the question, isn't it? And based on this interview, it's not looking good. More division, more chaos, more damage to our institutions. That's what I see.
That's a pretty bleak picture.
It is, but we can't give up. We still have a voice. We still have a choice. We need to stay informed. We need to vote. We need to support those who are fighting for a better future.
So what can our listeners do to make a difference?
Talk to people, even those who disagree with you. Try to understand their point of view. Yeah. And get involved. Support organizations that are fighting for democracy, for voting rights, for a better America.
Don't just sit back and hope for the best. Get in the game.
Right. Even small actions can make a difference. We're not alone in this. There are millions of us who want a better future.
Okay, so we've talked about the big picture, the potential dangers. Now, let's get into some of the specific policy areas, starting with the economy. Jobs, manufacturing, the national debt. He's made a lot of promises. But how realistic are they? And what could be the consequences for the economy and for everyday people?
Good place to start. It's the heart of his appeal, right? So let's break it down, see what he's actually proposing and what the potential impact might be.
All right, tax cuts. He said he wants to make those permanent, says they're the key to growth. But some people say they just help the rich and big companies, not the middle class, not the people who really need it.
It's a complicated issue for sure. There are arguments on both sides. Some say lower taxes mean more investment, more jobs, and everyone benefits in the end. And they point to the fact that the economy did grow after those 2017 tax cuts. Unemployment was down, the stock market was up.
But didn't all that disappear when COVID hit and the national debt, it went up a lot during that time, right?
Yeah, that's true. The pandemic changed everything, and it's hard to say how much of the growth was because of the tax cuts and how much was just the way things were going globally. And yeah, the debt is a big worry for a lot of people. Can we afford to keep borrowing so much?
So maybe tax cuts can help the economy in the short term, but it's not so clear if it lasts or if it's worth the cost in the long run.
Exactly. And it really depends on how it's done, who benefits. If you cut taxes for the middle class, for working people, they're more likely to spend that money, boost the economy. But if it's just for corporations and the wealthy, they might just save it or invest it, and it doesn't have as much impact.
So it's not just about cutting taxes, it's about how you do it.
Right, the details matter. You got to look past the slogans and see what the numbers really say, who's benefiting, and what it means for the future.
Okay, tariffs. He loves those tariffs. Says they protect American jobs, American companies, but other people are saying they just hurt consumers, make everything more expensive.
Tariffs, they're a classic debate in economics. And Trump's way of doing it, it's not typical. He just slaps them on, no warning, no negotiation. It makes things unpredictable. Businesses don't know what to expect.
It's like he's using them as a weapon, right? To punish countries he doesn't like.
Yeah, he talks about it like it's a game, about winning and losing. Most economists, they don't see it that way. Tariffs, they can be useful, but you got to be strategic, use them to protect new industries or to fix specific problems with trade.
Trump, he's more about the show, looking tough, not so much about the details.
That's true, and all this uncertainty, it hurts businesses. They can't plan for the future if they don't know what the rules are going to be. And even if tariffs help some companies, they often hurt consumers. You end up paying more for everything.
And that can cause inflation, right? Make it harder for people to afford things.
Exactly. So tariffs, they're not a magic solution. You got to be careful how you use them.
All right, deregulation. He's all about cutting regulations, says they kill jobs, stifle innovation. But some people say deregulation can be dangerous. Environmental damage, unsafe products, even financial crises.
Deregulation, it's about finding the right balance. You need some rules to protect people, to make sure things are safe, to prevent companies from doing whatever they want. But too many regulations, yeah, that can stifle the economy.
So it's not just about more or less, it's about finding that sweet spot.
That's it. And you got to be smart about it. Look at each regulation, see what it does, what the costs and benefits are. You can't just cut everything blindly.
Okay, anything else about Trump's economic plans that we should be paying attention to?
One big thing, his whole approach, it's very nationalist. America first, that's the guiding principle. He's skeptical of free trade. He's not afraid of trade wars. It's like he wants to go it alone, even if it means alienating our allies.
So not exactly Mr. Globalization.
Nope. And that can be risky. You might win some in the short term, but in the long run, it could make the world a less stable, less prosperous place. It's a gamble, for sure.
All right, let's switch gears and talk about healthcare. Great healthcare, that's what he's promised. Affordable, accessible for everyone. But he's been pretty vague on the details. What do we actually know about his plans?
Healthcare, it's a mess. Everyone knows that. And it's been a political football for years. Trump, he's tried to get rid of Obamacare, but it hasn't worked so far. He says it's a disaster, but he hasn't really said what he would do differently.
A lot of talk, not a lot of substance.
Right. And it's making people nervous, especially those who rely on Obamacare, those with pre-existing conditions. They're worried about losing their coverage.
He keeps saying repeal and replace, but replace with what?
That's the big question, and he hasn't really answered it. Selling insurance across state lines, health savings accounts, tax credits, he's mentioned those things. But it's all piecemeal. It doesn't really address the big problems.
What about Medicaid expansion? That's helped a lot of people get coverage.
He's criticized it before, but he also knows it's popular. He might try to replace it with block grants to the states, but that could mean cuts, less coverage for people who need it.
So lots of uncertainty. Not a good feeling when it's about your health, your family's health.
Nope. And this is going to be a big issue in the next few years. People should be paying attention, see what he actually proposes and what it means for them.
Okay, let's talk immigration. It's been his signature issue, right? The wall, the crackdown on illegal immigration, the merit-based system. What can we expect in his second term?
Immigration, it's been central to his whole presidency. Border security, enforcement, less immigration overall, that's his focus. And his rhetoric, it's often been pretty harsh, talking about immigrants like they're criminals, terrorists, a drain on society.
Divisive for sure.
Absolutely. It's created a lot of fear, a lot of prejudice, especially against Latinos.
The wall, he's built some of it, but it's nowhere near finished. Will he keep pushing for that?
Probably. He says it's essential, the key to border security. But it's expensive. It's logistically difficult. We'll see how much progress he makes.
And the crackdown on illegal immigration. More deportations, more raids, that kind of thing.
I think so. More Border Patrol agents, more detention centers, making it harder for undocumented immigrants to live and work here. Those policies, they're controversial. A lot of people say they're cruel. They don't work. They hurt families and communities.
And the merit-based system, prioritizing skills over family ties.
That's a long-standing goal for some conservatives, but Democrats and immigrant rights groups, they don't like it. They say it would hurt families, make America less diverse. It's not clear if Trump can get it through Congress, especially now with things so divided.
So, more of the same on immigration, then?
Most likely. And it's going to keep dividing the country, affecting the lives of millions of people.
Okay, foreign policy. America first. That's his mantra. What does that mean for the world in his second term?
Unpredictable. That's one word for it. He does deals. He makes personal connections. He doesn't care so much about ideology or long-term strategy.
He likes strongmen, right? Putin, Kim Jong-un. But our allies, Canada, Germany, not so much.
Yeah, it's all about the personal touch with him. But it makes things unstable. Other countries don't know what to expect from us anymore.
China, he's called them our biggest competitor, put tariffs on their goods, challenged them in the South China Sea.
Yeah.
Is that going to get even worse?
The U.S. and China, that's the big one, the relationship that matters most in the world. And yeah, it's gotten pretty bad under Trump. I think it'll probably get worse. More trade tensions, maybe military buildups, even a chance of conflict.
NATO, too. He's been critical, says they don't pay enough, not sure if it's worth it. Could he actually pull us out?
He could. He's shown he's willing to walk away from agreements, organizations, the Paris Climate Accord, the Iran nuclear deal. He pulled out of those. If he does the same with NATO, it would be a huge deal. It would weaken the alliance, embolden Russia, make things a lot more dangerous.
And he wants to bring troops home from Afghanistan, from other places.
Yeah, he said that before. But his advisors, Congress, they've pushed back. It's a tough decision, lots of consequences. Could the Taliban take over again? What would happen in other parts of the world?
So more unpredictability, more disruption, more America first, even if it means alienating our allies, breaking things.
That's what I see. And it could change the world in ways we can't even imagine yet.
Okay, we've talked about a lot of specific policies, but let's zoom out again. What does all this mean for American democracy? He attacks institutions, he uses divisive language, he bends the rules. What are your biggest worries?
It's a stress test for our democracy, that's for sure. Can it handle this kind of pressure? Populism, polarization, a president who wants more and more power, his attacks on the media, the courts, other institutions. It's eroding trust, undermining the norms that hold us together.
Some people say he's authoritarian, wants to be a dictator, basically.
Well, he does have some authoritarian tendencies. He doesn't care much for the rule of law. He attacks his critics. He tries to control the courts. But our system has checks and balances, and he hasn't been able to destroy those. Not yet, anyway.
So it's not hopeless?
Not yet. But we got to be careful. We got to defend our democracy. We can't take it for granted.
His attacks on the media, calling them the enemy of the people, that's really dangerous, isn't it?
It is. A free press, that's essential for democracy. They hold the powerful accountable. They inform the public. When you attack the press, when you threaten journalists, you make it harder for people to know what's going on, to hold their leaders accountable.
It's like he wants to control the information people get, create his own reality.
And it's working. At least for some people. It's creating this climate of hostility, of distrust. People don't know who to believe anymore.
And his rhetoric, the way he talks about immigrants, about minorities, about anyone who disagrees with him, so divisive, so hateful.
It tears us apart, that kind of talk. When leaders demonize groups, when they pit people against each other, it creates fear, resentment, and sometimes even violence. And those wounds, they take a long time to heal.
We've seen a rise in hate crimes and white supremacy and all sorts of bigotry.
And it's partly because of the climate he's created, the permission he's given to those who hate. We have to push back against that. We have to stand up for what's right. We can't let fear and hate win.
Okay, we've talked about a lot of bad things, a lot of challenges. But is there any hope? Can American democracy survive this?
I think so. Our system, it's strong. It's based on good values, on the rule of law, on the separation of powers, on individual rights. Those things have been tested before, and they've held up.
And the American people, they've always fought for what's right, haven't they?
They have. The civil rights movement, the women's suffrage movement, the fight for LGBTQ rights, those were all tough battles, but people didn't give up.
And we have a strong civil society, lots of organizations, lots of people fighting for democracy, for human rights, for a better future.
That's right. And history is on our side. It might not always feel like it, but in the long run, things tend to get better. More rights, more freedom, more inclusion. That's the direction we're headed, even if there are bumps along the way.
So we shouldn't despair.
No. We should be vigilant. We should be active. We should defend our democracy. But we should also have hope. We can get through this.
Okay, that's good to hear. So what's the message for our listeners? What should they take away from all this?
Get involved. Don't be a bystander. Stay informed. Vote. Support the groups that are fighting the good fight. The future of our democracy depends on us, on all of us.
Well said. We can't just sit back and let things happen.
Exactly. The future's not set in stone. We can make a difference.
All right, that's a lot to think about. We've covered a lot of ground here, the challenges, the dangers, but also the hope, the ways we can fight back. In the next and final part, we'll dig into some of the deeper questions, the philosophical and ethical issues, and what all this means for America and for the world. You know, we've spent all this time on the details of what President-elect Trump is saying, but I think it's time to step back, look at the bigger picture. What does this all mean philosophically for America? You know, ideas of truth, of power, what it means to be an American in this crazy 21st century.
Yeah, that's important. It's not just about policies. It's a whole worldview.
Yeah.
And one thing that keeps coming up in this interview is that us versus them mentality. America under attack from the inside and out.
He's always drawing lines in the sand, right?
Oh.
Defining who's the good guy, who's the bad guy, patriot or traitor, that kind of thing. And that can be dangerous.
Oh, absolutely. It creates this atmosphere of fear, suspicion. You can't disagree anymore without being labeled an enemy. And that's the opposite of what America is supposed to be about, right? A place where everyone can have their say, where we can debate, disagree, even argue, but still respect each other.
And it's all tied to his attacks on the institutions, right?
Yeah.
The media, the courts, the intelligence agencies. Anyone who challenges him is a threat, disloyal, maybe even a traitor.
Which makes people lose faith in those institutions. And when that happens, it's hard to solve problems. You need people to trust the system, to work together, to compromise. When that's gone, you get conspiracy theories, misinformation, and that can lead to, well, it can lead to really bad things.
Like authoritarianism.
Exactly.
And speaking of misinformation, he's still saying the 2020 election was stolen. Even claims the January 6th committee destroyed evidence that would cleared him. None of that's true, is it?
No, there's no evidence to support those claims. But it doesn't matter to some people. If you repeat something enough, if you make it part of your story, people start to believe it. Facts don't matter anymore. Only loyalty, belief.
It's like he's created this alternate reality, and he's the only one who knows the truth. And he's the only one who can save us.
He's very good at tapping into that feeling, that sense of being left behind, forgotten. The silent majority, he calls them.
The real Americans, right?
Exactly. And those people, they're looking for someone to fight for them, someone who understands their anger, their frustration. And he steps into that role perfectly. The warrior, fighting the evil elites, the deep state, whoever he decides is the enemy this week.
It's powerful, that kind of narrative, especially now when things are changing so fast, so much uncertainty. People are scared. They want easy answers, someone to blame.
And he gives them that. Simple solutions. A return to a glorious past. Make America great again, right? But that past, it never really existed. It's a fantasy, a way to exclude people, to say, you're not a real American unless you look like this, think like this, believe like this.
It ignores the fact that America has always been about change, about diversity, about people from all over the world coming together to build something new.
Right. It's a very narrow, very exclusive vision. And it's not what America's supposed to be about.
So what happens if he wins? What happens if this vision, this us versus them mentality takes over?
I worry about that.
Yeah.
Because if we can't agree on basic facts, if we can't trust each other, if we're constantly fighting, then democracy can't work.
It falls apart.
It becomes a tool for those in power, a way to manipulate people, to divide and conquer.
So what can we do? How do we stop this from happening?
We have to fight back, but not with violence, not with hate. We have to fight back with truth, with facts, with compassion. We have to support The institutions that are under attack, the media, the courts, the people who are trying to hold those in power accountable.
We have to call out lies when we see them.
Exactly. And we have to talk to each other even when it's hard, even when we disagree. We have to try to understand where the other side is coming from to find common ground.
We have to remember that we're all Americans, even when we disagree.
We're all in this together. That's the bottom line. And we have to act like it.
So what's the message for our listeners? What do we want them to take away from this deep dive?
Don't give up hope. American democracy, it's been through tough times before, and it's come out stronger. But it needs us. It needs all of us to participate, to engage, to fight for what we believe in.
To be citizens, not just spectators.
Exactly. Get involved, stay informed, vote, speak out, make your voice heard. The future of our country depends on it.
That's a powerful message. And on that note, we're going to wrap up this deep dive. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back next week with another fascinating topic. Until then, keep learning, keep questioning, and keep fighting for the America you believe in.